Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the United States Touring Car Championship virtual race series. For this event, we head to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I'm behind the times. I'm joined, as always, by Matt Commodore, and this week we're joined by guest host Colin. How you doing, Colin?
Hey, how's it going?
And Matt, how you doing?
Fantastic. Another exciting race from the USTCC, guys.
Absolutely. And so at the moment, we are in the middle of practice. So this dicing that you see from the two Renaults here, this is they're just practicing right now. This is not for position or anything like that. All these times are going to be wiped out anyway. But in about 15 minutes, whoa, a nice explosion of a brake marker there. In about 15 minutes, we're going to switch over to race 1. Tonight, we're doing a 2-race format rather than single race. Each race is 30 minutes long, and there is no qualifying. No qualifying, guys, so we're doing just random grids for the rest, or well, at least for tonight, probably for the rest of the series, but it's just luck of the draw on where you start. So little tweaks here and there. We had just a little server issue last time trying to get everybody into the actual race, so they said, forget qualifying, we're not even going to do it. Luck of the draw now.
I find that that's going to be somewhat interesting. You know, it's whenever you watch the reverse grids or the inverted grid races, there tend to be a lot more carnage or entertainment value, you could say.
Yeah, they're certainly more exciting. So I'm not particularly upset about it, and I don't think the drivers will be either, because everybody's in the same boat. It's not like somebody's getting a specific advantage based off of it, and if you got a not so great starting position on this race, and you're probably going to get a better one on the next race. You know, everybody has to deal with the same thing.
Or you could just get absolutely stitched and bid the back of the pack for both. I mean, that's just as likely, right?
That's right. So Colin, you're new here for the race streams, but you're not new to Edge TV or to Drive Night. So why don't you tell our viewers about who you are?
Well, my name's Colin, obviously. Participated in a lot of the old Edge TV Drive Nights that we did over last year. Nick was kind of one of my chief rivals throughout all of those. It was kind of fun back and forth, but yeah, we did a lot of racing, even at Laguna Seca, and man, these games are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll never forget that race we had at Sonoma, Colin, when we were in the R32. What were those, GGTC cars?
It was the Calsonic.
Yeah, the Calsonic Skyline R32.
Yeah, that was a great race. And then we did the actual on the race at Sonoma in Finian, we actually, remember, we raced physically in person on foot to get into the seat to start, like Le Mans style.
Yeah, that's right.
Sweaty.
Very, very sweaty. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get Drive Night events back up and running again, even if they're remote for now. So we can have some more exciting, fun stuff like that. But Colin and I were side by side for like half of a lap through the fast bit of Sonoma as well, until he decided to turn into me going into turn 11 and put us both in the wall.
There's a little bit of debate there as to who turned into who.
Because reasons.
Yes. We also had a pretty incredible battle at the Nordschleife as well in BMW. It wasn't the Z4, right? It was the M8, or maybe it was a Z4. I don't remember. Some big BMW GT3 cars, and
I was halfway on 2 wheels through the carousel and somehow didn't lose any time on you at all.
Yeah, he had the biggest moment I've ever seen in a race at like 140 miles per hour, just sideways in the dirt on 2 wheels, and like didn't lose any speed at all. And I don't get it. It still doesn't make sense to me. But the important thing is I still beat you, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's fair. But it was more exciting for me.
Yeah, that was a great race. I look forward to doing some more races with you when we get a chance. Currently on board with Austin Figueroa with a completely smashed windshield as he's coming out of the pits. Not sure how he's managed that one. But again, remember, this is just practice, so nothing you see here really matters, but you can get a little idea of...
Did he roll that car? His roof?
It looks like he did. The roof is all mangled.
Quite damaged.
Oh, there's a lot of damage on that car.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
He pulled into the pits. The crew looked at the car and just said, nope.
Send it. Just
go.
Just
Just
send
go.
it. So big,
No helping you.
big hello to Stream Chat tonight. How you all doing out there?
Yeah, usually we don't go this long without some of our regulars piping up. Who's out there? Who's watching? Somebody get in there.
If you're in Stream Chat, to give us a hoy.
Ahoy. Specifically ahoy.
Hoy hoy.
But we're not going to tell you how that's spelled. You got to figure that out.
So we all know that this is the US Touring Car Championship. We have a championship. So championship's all about points, right?
That is right, and we've got the
after practice and qualifying, one would expect that Petrie would be somewhat in the lead, maybe, but that seems not to be the case.
Right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull up the list right now. Here we go. Okay.
You got it?
So on screen right now, we've got the points list, and I was caught a little off guard. I didn't have it in front of me, but I got it now. So Dave Brown, of course. This is just going to be the finishing position from race 1, but yes. I don't have them all memorized. So, but of course, Dave Brown won round 1 at Sonoma. Number 2 was Dan Zargam with a surprise 2nd place. Reza Arsham came in 3rd while in the pits. Interesting strategy from him there. He right at the very beginning of the race, he got a drive-through penalty. So if you don't serve that penalty during the race at some point, the game will dock you. I don't know if it'll DQ you or if it just dock you a certain number of positions, but it's not good either way.
I think it's a DQ.
So I think it might be right. I think it is a DQ. So Reza's strategy, which I think was a great strategy, by the way, I think I probably would have done the same thing, was to just run absolutely as hard as he possibly could, get into the lead and try to pull a gap and hope that you have enough of a lead, enough of a gap that when you do pull into the pits, even though you're limited to pit lane speed, you could still cross the line in first. It was a great strategy. It didn't quite work out. He wasn't far enough ahead to make it work. Dave was able to go by him right on the exit of turn 11, but it almost worked. Then we've got Austin Figueroa in 4th, Brandon Hodges in 5th, Andy Chittum in 6th place, driving the only Opel in the field, and then Brandon Hodges driving the only Mercedes. Thomas Petrie driving the Renault, who in practice we just saw was running the quickest time in the field, and he was quickest at Sonoma as well by an even larger margin, but he had some bad luck early on in the race and was not able to get farther up than 7th. Also to keep in mind, guys, the full damage is on for these races as well, so if something happens to your car, it is going to affect how fast it is, how it drives, and its competitiveness, so that's something to look out for. That was kind of Dave Brown's strategy for winning that first race, was just to be smart, be calm and collected and clean, and not get into any trouble. So he had a perfect car by the end. He didn't wear his tires out, and he was able to just let everybody crash all around him in front of him and just sneak on by with no penalties to the victory. Yeah,
that's exactly right. It's obviously with the USTCC championship rules, we've got points go to everyone, which is somewhat different to your Formula One or other racing series as you might follow. So your first 6 get somewhat of a spread of points to give gaps, to give buffers, but from 6 down, basically it's a reduction by 1. So you're guaranteed points if you finish, which is awesome. It really keeps you interested in finishing the race rather than, I'm 11th or I'm 15th, I'm just going to retire or just try and take someone out, because that's not necessarily a good thing. It's better to stay on the track and take as many points as possible.
Right, of course. So the points breakdown, first place is worth 100 points, and there's no points for qualifying, especially now since we're not doing qualifying, but 100 points for first, second place is 90 points, third place is 85, fourth is 80, and then it just goes back in 5-point increments from there, all the way down to, well, if you could have 100 cars or 99 cars in there, and everybody gets points. But sorry, no, you can't. We're not going by single points. Anyway, you can have a lot of cars in there. Don't ask me to do math on a stream.
So it's
hard enough for me to think about what I'm saying.
By single points from 7th place down.
Right, of course. So yeah, go ahead and do that math on the fly, Matt.
Yep.
Colin, go ahead and do that math for us.
Yeah, just crunch those numbers, please.
Just do it. So we got some people chiming in stream. Sorry, it's very small and I can't read it.
We have Valerie Girl 57. Daniel and Sean Milburn's mom. They're twin brothers and ready to kick some asphalt.
I see what you've done there.
Their father Tom was recently retired from racing but still in trucks. Oh, fantastic news. Glad that Tom's still out getting to the track. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Tom was racing for a long time in US Touring in an Acura RSX. And then Sean has stepped in and started driving that car as well and had some really, really good battles last season. Really fun to watch. We've also got, and I still can't read this, what is this? Champagne? Hoi indeed. Morale 2020?
Champagne.
Champagne.
Champagne. Hoi.
Champagne.
I got Eert 847. Yo to you too.
MX Zoe, good to have you back again. I still, anybody who watched the stream earlier today saw my new mug, but anybody, there we go. Today, guys, I'm a unicorn.
Nice.
Thank you, Zoe, for sending the mug.
Gotta go Charlie Frank from Merrill 2020. And,
already, we got Team Charlie Frank in the Twitch chat.
We got Borman Retro with hashtag GoBro. I like that. That's a good one.
Oh, that's Rito. Rito is team lead for Rito's team lead for Red Panther Motorsport, and he's not driving today, but he's got a couple of drivers in the field right now, so it's cool.
Fantastic.
Thank you for chiming in, Rito. Good to have you here. Sean got Cheyenne'd last weekend. Does that mean anything to you guys?
Only some will understand. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them.
I'm not some, apparently. Rito says I should wear a unicorn outfit. No.
Yikes from Shruth.
Big oof, guys.
So we're going to get
unicorn onesie.
I mean, if you guys wear onesies, maybe I'll wear a onesie. But I'm not going to be the only one wearing a onesie.
I mean, I'm happy to don a onesie. I mean, it's a little bit hot at the moment. If it cooled down, maybe if we get some like Canada weather or something, bit of snow.
A spot of snow. Got a bunch of Team Bros in the chat. That's Team Dave Brown.
Race to Dave 96.
It's good to have everybody here, and we appreciate you being chatty. It is called
absolutely.
Twitch chat for a reason.
Right,
so I just heard from the
chat.
race director that we'll be starting here in just a minute or two.
Getting close to hit the ground running.
Rito says you need a moose onesie, Matt.
A moose onesie.
Surely he needs a kangaroo onesie. Come on.
A moose.
Or a koala.
Yeah, koala for sure.
Koala, you reckon? A wombat. Yeah.
Or a giant spider.
Wombat just solid little things. You hit one of them and you know about it. They don't move for you.
Just pick anything that can kill you and just wear a onesie of that.
A drop bear onesie.
Drop bear. That's a koala.
Colin, what animal, real or mythical, represents you the best? What do you think?
I don't know. Are you allowed to pick what animal represents yourself?
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
That might be against the rules of like.
Yeah, I think that's against
picking animals.
Perhaps a billy goat to match your beard.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
You know, goats, they can climb pretty well, and they're cool. I'm down.
Cool. All right, well, that's sorted out. Thank God.
Gary the goat. What's going on, Gary?
I know exactly what video you're referencing right now. Please do not quote any more of that video.
I mean, they made a whole simulator about goats. So.
That's
true.
It's like it's just as good as snow shoveling simulator or digging a hole simulator. They're all fantastic, fun games.
Or the goose game.
Oh, I've played the goose game.
Yeah, thrilling. It's a riveting conversation. We're having on our racing show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's played the unnamed goose game, you can honk. That's about
it. Just honk and chat, guys.
Just honk and chat.
If you know what Matt's talking about.
Hashtag
Take
honk.
take a quick moment to mention a couple of the sponsors here instead of talking about goose games and spirit animals. We got a big list here. We'll just cover a couple in a moment, but big thank you to Swift Springs, Stop Tech, Spec Clutches, and Scan Gauge. You guys are in here sponsoring the series, so it's good to have you all here. Hopefully, we got some of you guys watching.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have a few awesome sponsors on board, throughout the USTCC in real life rounds and through their virtual series. Yeah,
and actually something cool happened after round one. There are two companies that came on to give out prizes for the drivers at the end. So Maglock's giving a Maglock hat to the winner of both races, and the Speed Traveler has put up a little bit of money, $30 to win, $10 for second, and $10 for third.
That's fantastic. And these guys, it just, I guess, inserts a bit more of a competition factor, even if it's something to take home.
Yeah, absolutely. And US Touring is one of the only affordable race series that's actually televised. And so it's pretty cool. I feel honored to be able to sort of carry that out through the sim racing that they're doing as well. It's a point that I made a lot of times, is that sim racing gives a lot of drivers opportunities to race in front of an audience that normally they wouldn't have. But a lot of these US Touring drivers are already used to racing with an audience, so they should feel totally at home with what we're doing right now.
That's right. A lot of the track day organizations or the grassroots competitions don't necessarily get television time or get stream time or anything like that. So to get featured on a live stream, a lot of these races are really soaking it up and putting their best foot forward to get their name out there for real life stuff.
Yeah, or dive bombing in turn one and taking out half the field.
Yes.
One or the other. We got Go Speed Traveler from Waking a Fallen 2005.
Go Speed Traveler.
I thought you were going to go for a Speed Racer theme song there.
Oh, well, they said Speed Traveler.
Hey, who do you guys think out of the drivers has the best Project Cars profile photo?
Well, there's clearly only one answer to this. And it's right in the middle, but I'll let Twitch chat. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure if are you guys seeing this right now?
You can see that, yes.
Yeah.
So which is your favorite icon that you can see there? Which driver do you give kudos to? Kudos points. Oh, it's called Fan Boost. Fan Boost. That's the one that Formula E use.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would be cool if we could implement something like that. But I feel like Dave Brown would just be getting full nitrous boost the entire race.
Hashtag Team
Bro all the way.
Can I get some hashtag Team Bros in the chat?
Or whatever team you'd like to support.
Absolutely. Hashtag Team Drew Ogawa. I feel that's too long. What can we... Team OG. Team OG. There you go. Team OG.
That's perfect.
Get on board the Drew Ogawa train with Patrick Dingleberry. Thornberry.
Rito's asking if track limit time penalties will be the difference between winning or not. It certainly could happen. So the way Project Cars 2 deals with penalties is it just adds a time penalty onto your race time. And it lets you continue the race and finish the race, and then whatever your full race time is, it'll add that on the back end. So if that 10 seconds or whatever it is makes you lose a position, then you lose a position. That's how it works. So it definitely could happen. I saw in practice there were a lot of people whose times were getting invalidated for penalties. So, I mean, maybe drivers will be a little bit more careful in the race. I doubt it. People are going to be pushing pretty hard. So we'll see how that plays out. It certainly is definitely part of the strategy, where you push and how hard you push. And I mean, sometimes it might be beneficial to, if you need to make a pass right now, to use some of that extra space, accept the penalty, whether it's 5 seconds or whatever it is, to get around that car, because that might be better than being stuck behind that car for 10 seconds. Who knows? So that will definitely play into the strategy for some of these drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
Also talking about the strategy, I'm told that some of these cars with fresh tires are actually quite a bit faster, but fall off. So they might want to push super hard at the beginning, try to build up that gap, since they're going to fall off after a few laps, and then their other competitors are going to be catching up to them.
Yeah, well, if you can do that, I mean, it's definitely a legitimate strategy. If you can get to the front early on, even if you're using up all the best of your tires' grip, you can then just make life very difficult for the people behind you. Even if they've got more speed, they're probably going to be using up their tires trying to make a move. And if you're really good at positioning your car in a position where you're not blocking, but just making yourself annoying, making it really difficult for anybody to get around you, that's definitely a legitimate strategy. The alternative to that, of course, would be to take it easy at first, let everybody else burn up their tires, and then do a final 10-minute or so or final 5-minute run and try to see how far up you can get.
That's right, a real push to the finish.
We've got an Austin Walker team shout out in the chat. We've got another Team Bro and Brake Boost Gang, which apparently is the Milburn gang, the Milburn brothers. Otherwise apparently known as the Sons of Thunder.
Sons of Thunder.
Sons of Thunder.
Thunderstruck.
Here's a question. Who do we think will have the best car setup? Not sure.
Well, for setups,
I think I have an answer for that, but go ahead, Matt.
For setups, we've actually got a full adjustable car setups for race 1. So race 1 is you pick however you want to set up the car, that's how you set it up. Race 2, we changed that up a bit, whereas you have to go for a stock setup. So whatever project cars give you as a baseline setup, that's what you get. No adjusting of sway bars, no adjusting of ride height, no aero adjustment, just straight out of the box. There's the keys, off you go.
Yeah, so if some people are really good at tuning the car, they'll probably shine in race 1. But if somebody is just kind of a seat of the pants driver and they don't know as much about tuning, but they just have a ton of speed regardless, and they'll probably shine in race 2. So Rito, I believe that just based off what we saw earlier and what I know about the drivers, Thomas Petrie has a whole lot of experience in this game, and he's spent a lot of hours tuning cars and figuring out what works, and in this particular game, what the right combination is to make these cars work. He's got a lot of experience in the Renault that he's driving as well. So I'd say that Petrie's probably going to have one of the best setup cars. That's my guess. But of course, that all goes out the window in race 2. We got some more shout outs. We've got OG Gang. We got Charlie Frank, Nick Pappas. Shroosh is saying something is cringy. Probably. That's, yeah. Don't know what you're saying is cringy, but probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty cringy.
Yeah.
Hey!
We got a Milburns are gonna win. Let's go, Sean and Danny. He's a close buddy and went to school with him. That's cool. Well, glad you're watching and supporting your friend.
Awesome, man.
Friends.
Fantastic, yeah.
And we got another Charlie Frank and Austin Walker and another Speed Traveler. Man, we got a
Traveler or nobody. Speed Traveler or bust.
or nobody.
Hey, you did get it right. In Project Cars 2, it's still Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Oh yeah, look at that. See, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
hearing from the race director that Gary Sheehan's wheel broke.
Oh.
We've had a mechanical failure in a sim race, guys.
Legit.
Wow.
Actually.
So they're giving him just a couple of minutes to get it fixed, and then they're going to be starting up.
Is that the equivalent of like a steering shaft or something we would call that?
Oh man, don't even go there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's fresh, man.
It will always be too soon.
Yeah.
Forever too soon.
Are there cops in this game from Shroosh? And Reg Hex, Shroosh, stop. This is going over my head, boys. I'm lost.
She doesn't need a wheel, just turn the knob.
That's right, just play with your knob.
Yeah, man, all the cool kids are using controllers, not wheels. What are you doing?
I prefer the arrow keys on the keyboard.
Oh, right, yes.
That is so difficult. I've tried that so many times and it just does not work.
Yeah, Need for Speed, you could probably get away with it. In an actual racing sim, a little more difficult.
So you need something with indexable control.
Oh,
yeah, some variability.
Guitar Hero would be perfect.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that. I really would like to try that. So like your left and right your left and right's on the fretboard, and then you go and stops up on the
strumming.
On the strum.
When I was in high school, a friend of mine had a couple of those like at-home Dance Dance Revolution pads that plugged into a PlayStation 2, and he got an adapter to change that to USB, and he plugged it into his computer and somehow hacked it so that we were playing Halo, the original Halo, with the DDR mat.
Wow.
And it did not work very well, but it did work.
That's pretty fun. I feel like that's something we can try.
Well, looks like we're getting gridded up.
Guys, do we have some toxicity in our city right now? Toxicity
we also have
in
Brad
our
McClure
Twitch
starting
chat?
from pole position.
He's passing first through the corkscrew. Well, we're about to find out.
Petrie starting in 7th.
Is that where he started in the last race as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's at least where he finished.
Yeah, that's at least
so
where
if
he
anybody hasn't watched one of the races with us before, during the race, a lot of the time we're going to go by the 3-letter code rather than using their full name. So for instance, MCC is on pole, which is Brad McClure. Fig is in second. That's Austin Figueroa. But just to keep things simple, we'll go by the 3-letter name. So if you're confused at what we're saying, just look over at the times on the positions on the left, and you'll understand. We got another Let's Go Nick Pappas.
Looks like Charlie Frank has pulled out of the race from 3rd position on the grid. So that might be a bit of an error there. We'll see what happens with that.
I really hope that doesn't mean we're going to start over. But we'll find out.
At Reg Hex, when you going to stream? Yeah, when you going to stream, bro?
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah, bro.
Bruh.
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 Shrews is
what you doing, bruh?
Bruh. Let's go Nick Pappas from Battle Sports.
Ooh, I don't know what Battle Sports is, but it sounds cool.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
When Mrs. Hex gets her own PC and I can use a dual system. Hey, man, that's cheating.
What is a dual system? Does that mean like you've got your right arm and leg in one sim rig and your left arm and leg in a different sim rig and you're driving two at the same time? Because that sounds pretty cool. I would like to see that.
All right, 10 seconds till flag, guys. Listen to those revs rise.
Oh, dual system. You must be talking about a dual shock control. I get it now.
The lights are out here at Laguna Seca.
Oh, looks like Fig got a good start there.
Terrible start from MCC. Not sure what happened. Looked like he was in second gear or something. Fig was able to capitalize and head up to the front. Now the big braking zone into turn 2. They're going to stack up. Let's see if there's any contact, if they keep it clean.
Big moves.
Looks pretty clean so far. Man, that's a big field of cars there. So of course there are a couple different cars to choose from, and they're all going to have different strengths, different weaknesses. But on the race start, it's really just all about how well can you position yourself. The small differences in the cars don't really matter.
Good positioning is Thomas Petrie right now, up into second place.
Yeah, really nice move to the inside there through turn 5. As they head into turn 6, though, you really don't want to be side by side in turn 6. That is that's a sketchy corner when you're by yourself.
Oh, that's how sketchy it is.
In the wall.
That's right. Oh, who's that?
Who is that? Who's off?
Falling back. Is that Walker?
Well, it's not Andy Chittum. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we'll get back to them a bit further back.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll figure it out at some point. Petrie up in second, and because of that little bit of problems happening behind him. Oh, Sean Milburn is in the wall at turn 10. That's not good news for Sean. Sean had a really some bad luck.
Contacting again.
Contact as he re-enters the track. Really difficult to re-enter safely when you don't have any peripheral vision. But anyway, Sean had some bad luck at Sonoma, where he ended up getting taken out by a lapped car and put into a wall. And that ended his race. Well, it was a battle for the lead, so we'll just have to see how far up the field he can get after that mistake early on.
So I've settled into a bit of rhythm now. Everyone's sort of giving away their 2 wide spots. Bit of a train happening now. So it looks like Ali Arsham and McClure are in the pits. McClure or McCullahan?
Interesting.
It's one of either.
One of the
They've got same
MCCs.
abbreviation.
We've got 2 MCCs, guys. So we'll have to at some point we'll see who's still on the track.
Mode
Each with a
control center.
big slide in turn 6. That's going to hurt his momentum going up the hill. Now it should be noted that these cars are really fast. I mean, 1 minute 35 at Laguna Seca. That is
quick.
absolutely moving. To put that in perspective, let's see.
A well-tuned Miata.
Say again?
A well-tuned Miata would get a
Yes.
155.
Well, the best tuned Miata I've driven at Laguna Seca, I did a 142.
Well, there you go. Okay.
But I think the quickest I've ever gone around Laguna was in a supercharged BRZ, and that was a 136. And that car made like 375 at the wheels. It had big downforce. I mean, it was pretty similar to something like this, honestly. We're seeing from Rito that Team Bro has gone from 17th to 12th.
11th
He's got
now.
a good run up through the field.
He's chasing down Dan Zargam. Austin Wallace.
Oh, we
He's
got
already
a
past
braking
Dan Zargam.
marker exploding there.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Project Cars 2 is the environmental details. So in some games you hit a marker and you just morph through it. In this game, nope, it's going to explode. Oh, who's that in the green Mercedes?
That's
who had
Austin
a little bit
Walker.
of trouble. Grab some dirt. Oh, and he's in the dirt again. That's going to open up the door for Dave to go up the what was the inside, what is now the outside, going into turn 5. It looks like he's cleared that pass in time to run his line through turn 5.
That's an easy pass. That's free position given to Team Bro there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not too upset about getting free position. So, I mean, he got a little bit unlucky with the grid order, but we've seen at Sonoma just how patient and smart Dave Brown drives. So I'm sure he will drive up through the field a lot farther than where he is now by the end of this race. Now, one more thing to look at, guys. Take a look on the left side of your screen at the standings, and you see some of the drivers have that little symbol, the little exclamation point and a triangle over on the right. That means that they have a penalty already assessed to them. So Petrie, for example, he's got a penalty, and if you look at this screen here, we'll scroll down, we'll find Petrie in second place, up at the top.
I believe that yellow marker means the lap has been invalidated.
Well, right. So if it was qualifying, it'd be invalidated.
Yeah.
But in the race, it's just a penalty. So you saw on that screen there, he's been assessed a 2-second penalty. So he's just going to continue racing. He doesn't have to slow down or anything like that. But at the end of the race, he will have those 2 seconds applied to his total time. So if he's only 1 second ahead of a car, that means he'll be positioned 1 second behind that car at the end. It's like we're on board with Brad Austin now.
Oh, that's a tag aside!
Big moment.
That was a dirty pass there.
Brad Austin's got
Very
to be
dirty pass
that's
on
Risa.
That was Reza Arsham. Now Reza opened up the door and gave Austin the ability to make that pass, but then Austin overcooked his corner and just right into the door of Reza. That's unfortunate. Reza also had a fantastic race in Sonoma. Say again, Colin?
I think it cost him 7 positions there.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Man,
Well,
it's
we've
going to
got
be
a recovery drive from Reza as well. Oh, look at that. It puts Reza right behind Dave Brown. What do you know? I'm getting some deja vu from Sonoma. Got a request to have a look at one of the Milburns. Fifth place, we got Sean Milburn in his Renault. And a little bit of free clean air there, and that's probably good news for him. That means that he can run some fast laps and move away from the battle happening behind him and just try to catch up to the back of HOD.
So that'd be Brendan Hodges.
Who's HOD?
Brendan Hodges.
Oh, I think you're right.
And Brendan Hodges is in the lone Mercedes. But I'm sure Sean Milburn will be super happy that no one's around him. That way he can't get either A, punted off, or B, turned over.
Right, of course. Yeah, he ended his race on his roof at Sonoma, so hopefully some better luck for Mr. Milburn in this race. Now, of course,
a lot of counter steer there. Big slide.
Yeah, so Colin, I don't know if you saw the race from Sonoma, but that is Reza's style. He's basically sideways all the time.
No,
and
I'm a fan
I don't hate
of that
it.
kind of style.
I don't hate it. It's that's kind of my deal. That's my
They're
thing.
reminiscent of older touring car races. DTM.
Authentic touring car races.
Australian supercars. Sliding is the way to go.
Yeah, or DTM, and he's driving the right marquee.
Speak of DTM, Audi pulling out at the end of this year. The only manufacturer left in DTM will be BMW.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's
he's absolutely driving the right marquee then.
A little bit disappointing. That is a fantastic series that goes on over in Europe. Unfortunately, when it's down to one manufacturer, they either need to make some rule changes or some real big series changes.
Right, at that point it becomes a one-make race. Because, I mean, those can be fun too. It's a different deal.
Yeah.
Now in U.S. touring, in the actual real-life races, basically any car goes. There's no restrictions on the brand. There are some model restrictions depending on what's actually considered a production car, that sort of thing. But if you're good at what you do, if you're a good tuner, a good builder, you can do just about anything work. And that's cool. You see a lot of diversity there. It's one of the only race series I've seen where there are a couple of Hyundai Genesis Coupe racing, not only racing but incredibly competitive too. And in fact, there's another driver who's with Red Panther who's building yet another Genesis. So that's pretty cool to see. And in the series, there's a bunch of BMWs. There's an RX-8, there's RSX, Integra. I ran my Lexus. What else? There's been Porsche 911s. There's been a Fiat Abarth. There's been. I
feel like that RX-8 has got that just gets style points. That gets from
cool,
me that gets 110 style points.
Looks like we got some moves from Reza here. He moved up from just a lap ago. He was in 10th. Now he's up to 7th. Looks like he was able to pull off a pass in the corkscrew.
That's pretty impressive. That's a difficult place to pass. I mean, he still has plenty of race. There's still 20 minutes remaining in this race, so he could definitely stand to move further up. Let's see, he's about 21 seconds behind the leader at the moment. That's a lot of ground to make up, but you never know. If the cars ahead are stuck in battles and they're slowing each other down, you can definitely make that up. So it's all about who can get to the traffic quickest. And don't forget, this race is long enough that by the time we get to the end, there is going to be lap traffic to deal with. And whoever is able to contend with the lap traffic best is going to have a big advantage. We saw, through no fault of his own, Sean Milburn caught the worst of that at Sonoma, right at the wrong place too. Turn 10, that's exactly the wrong place to get tangled up with cars. You're going to hit a wall.
Well, I've already seen blue flags out for Ali Arsham, who's unfortunately back in 20th position at the moment, so it'd be a lap down by now.
Like Thomas Petrie is caught right up to the rear bumper of
Austin Figueroa.
Austin Figueroa, that's right. So that could be a really interesting battle between the two. I believe they're both driving Renaults as well. So these two are front-wheel drive cars. So of course, in touring cars, you've got options. You can run a rear-wheel drive car like the BMWs, or you can run a front-wheel drive car like these Renaults or the Mercedes, and there's one Opel in there as well. So clearly, you can be fast either way.
Sean Milburn's just copped a time penalty for track limits. So that's a 2-second penalty for him as well.
Yeah, 2 seconds, not a whole lot, unless you're right in the middle of a battle. Like if these two guys finish just like this, and that is Sean to the inside. Right, and if they do finish like that, then whoever doesn't have the penalty will win the race.
That's right. If finished exactly how it is now, Sean would go down to 6th position. So that's that shows you 2 seconds can mean a lot, but you give that 2 seconds to say the Opel of Cheatham back in 15th, then it would make any difference. So Sean's got to clear 2 seconds on whoever's behind him, and he'll be happy.
I'm going over Sean here. Sean, in real life, drives, well, not only does he race the RSX, but he also drives a Ford Focus ST, so he's really got this the front-wheel drive performance thing on lock, and it shows. He's definitely fast in that car. All the way back up to 4th now after that mistake in turn 10. Ray's is still in 7th place. He's all over the back end of Dave Brown. I feel like this is going to be a battle for the whole race. Oh, and another mistake!
Oh,
Sean just puts a little bit of dirt on the outside of turn 10. He's pushing hard, using every inch of track he's got. He didn't lose any positions, but he did lose some time. And that's going to give Dave Brown some breathing room to go and try to chase down Hodges.
Michael McCollahan back in 19th or 18th, I'm not sure, has just been given the blue flag as well for a couple of passes. That car looked a bit worse for wear, unfortunately.
So if the blue flag is out, that means that the leaders have already caught lapped traffic. And maybe that's due to accidents or off or something like that. But that's definitely going to be a factor.
Yeah, that car's seen better days.
And remember, everybody, the damage is on, so that car is not going to be driving quite as well as it was.
So if you're running a steering wheel set up, then the steering wheel may shake if you've got an alignment issue. If you've got a bent wheel, it'll hold to one side. It's very realistic, I guess the word is, onto what damage you've got. You know, if you've got a flat tire, it'll so you really.
How does that go again? Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah. Can I get a translation of that into chat, please? So it looks like Pappa's had a couple of penalties applied to him as well. He's got a red dot. He's back in 9th position now.
Yeah, it looks like a close battle for third.
Yeah, Sean still all over AUS. Who's AUS? Is that Brad Austin, I think? Yeah, all over the rear bumper of Brad Austin. When Brad goes wide in turn 2, Sean looks to the inside. Now, this is a familiar move. He did this last lap as well, but the problem is Brad is going to have the inline going into turn 3. Oh, they touched. They banged doors just a little bit. It is touring cars after all.
Oh, big slide.
They both keep it together and not continue, but...
that's really going to put him back in the clutches of that Mercedes of Brad Hodges just behind him as well.
We're just asking what the number being marked red means. I do not know.
So the number being marked red is the fact that you've got penalties. So
there are some cars that don't show that.
No, there is not. The yellow marker to the right-hand side means your lap has been invalidated, which doesn't mean anything as for the race. The red marker is the penalty.
Got it. That makes sense. We're hearing that apparently Frank got kicked out of the race. Maybe a server issue. That can't happen. That's one of the difficulties with sim racing is that if your internet connection just drops for a second, that's it. You're out. But he'll be back for the next race. So, sorry to see you go, Frank.
Yes, it was unfortunate. We saw him disappear from the grid. He was starting third as well. So
yeah,
it may seem like a weird thing about sim racing that your internet connection could drop, or you could have some error, your game could freeze, and your car just disappears from the race. But I would like to point out that in real racing, you can just simply have bad luck and have a mechanical failure, and you're out of the race.
Yeah,
that's true. And you can definitely spend more money to have a better.
Oh, there's a car upside down on pit straight. That's Andy Cheatham.
Andy Cheatham, what happened?
How do you roll a car there? I don't understand.
I'm thinking there may have been some contact. Maybe an accidental pit maneuver that sent him into the wall and turned him over.
Looks like the other Milburns had a penalty applied as well, so maybe that may have something to do with it.
Could be. The other Milburn. Oh, Petrie's off. Petrie's in the dirt coming out of turn 10.
He's got a good 20 seconds up his sleeve.
Marker.
So that's not going to affect him.
Yeah, he had a decent lead over third place, so...
I actually think Andy Cheatham's car went over a lot earlier because it's saying he's 13 minutes behind Ali Arsham, so...
Has Andy just been sitting there upside down?
I think...
Have we been ignoring him?
I think we've reacted to something that happened on the second lap.
Hey guys, hey, hello. Oh my God, Brad Austin just drives right through Andy Cheatham's car.
One of the nice things of sim racing is they're not red flagging the whole race because of a car on its roof on the main street.
Oh, that's a big dive.
It's battle for third right here. We're on board with Brad Austin. trying to find a way around Sean Milburn. So I guess Sean did get that position.
Sean
now Sean
Milburn's
just
in
got to
the
run.
blue, white with yellow wings at the front.
Now, when you say wings,
Mirrors,
when
wing
you
mirrors.
say wings, Matt,
Wing mirrors.
side view mirrors in this
Side
one.
view mirrors, sorry.
Wait a minute, I thought wings were the fenders.
What? No?
Oh, that's in England.
That's a guard.
That's in England.
It's in England, mate. Crumpets and tea.
And Marmite, or Vegemite instead of Marmite.
Vegemite's Australian, Marmite's English.
Oh, yeah, see, I'm moving the corkscrew right here. Look at that.
Big dive. Will they hold on to that?
Oh, that's a corner. That's got to be a corner cut. Did that get
That
picked
will
up?
assess him a penalty.
Doesn't
for
look
sure.
like it. I think he's going to survive another day with that penalty.
Yeah, that line is referred to as the
Suicide.
Zanardi, made famous by IndyCar driver Alex Zanardi, who used that line to win a race in, what was it, 1997, something like that?
Yeah,
And,
it would be close, late 90s.
Immediately a rule was made after that. You know you're doing something right in racing when they have to make rules for you.
Yeah, that's right. The Zanardi rule. Was that
I love this pack. Ooh, a little
was that
touch
previous
there.
or after his crash?
Say that again?
Was that previous or after his crash?
Ooh, that's a good question. Chat, let us know.
Yes.
If you know the timeline of his big crash versus the famous Zanardi turn. Looks like Reza's right back on Dave Brown's bumper again.
So just over 10 minutes remaining in race one here.
Right now, also keep in mind, this is the race where these drivers are allowed to adjust their setup. So these cars are going to be driving pretty differently from each other. Reza's BMW is going to be quite a bit different from Dave Brown's BMW. Now, when we go into race 2, that all goes completely out the window. Everybody who has a like car is going to have exactly the same setup. He's a little wide coming out of the corkscrew, but he will hold on to that position as we go into turn 9. You know, it seems like Reza's sliding a little bit less this time. I wonder if he's tuned his car a little bit differently.
Yeah, I think he may have tightened it up. I think he still slides most corners, but it's definitely not as far as what we were seeing at Sonoma.
On board now with Brandon Hodges, who's in the back of this battle for fourth.
The lone Mercedes.
Yep, the only AMG in the field. Yeah, this group here could go to anybody with still just under 10 minutes remaining.
Oh, he's going around the outside. Not quite.
Now, we saw at Sonoma that Dave races really smart. He knows what he's doing. He's nothing you see here is an accident. He's not pushing the car to 11 tenths. He's not making any dumb, silly maneuvers. He's just driving smooth and smart and letting Reza make the mistakes behind him while he's trying to get around him. See, that's exactly Dave's plan. That's
cool,
exactly
calm, and
strategy.
collected.
Yep, and it worked out from the race 1. We'll see how it ends in race 2. Looks like he's going for the inside line, going into turn 6. Now that's good if you can get the move down.
Oh, there's cars off the track and back in the dirt. That's Dave Brown. That's not cool, calm, and collected.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, Reza's going to capitalize on
like
that.
an idiot.
Moving up to fourth.
Oh no. Reza and Brandon Hodges are absolutely loving that. They've just gained 5 seconds on him.
That's exactly what Reza and Brandon wanted to see.
So Twitch chat, now that you've seen the first 22 minutes of race 1, who do you think is going to take this checkered flag? Do you think Austin Figueroa's got it, or do you think Petrie, just 2.5 seconds behind him, is going to challenge for the lead? Or do you see someone from a little bit further back, really heading the top of the charge for the win of the race here? Give us.
We're getting to that point in the race now where people have to start really going for it. I mean, Figueroa, he can pretty much keep doing what he's doing. He's running smooth, he's running fast laps, but Petrie, Milburn, Reza, they have to go. They have to go 100% because they're running out of time. Tires be damned.
That's exactly right.
Chat saying the yellow BMW, that would be probably Reza. And then we're also hearing that Sean's going to take it. Sean's currently in third.
I always read his name as Scene, right?
Well, that would be phonetically correct, I suppose.
To me, that says Scene. Sean is SHAWN.
Oh, so close in the corkscrew.
Oh, man.
You cannot get any closer than that without touching.
Shivers. I send shivers down my spine every time.
Touring car racing at its absolute finest. I love to see that.
The touring car racing at its finest, I believe it was the 2017 Adelaide 500. There was an improved production race that had a front-wheel drive.
Jordan Cox.
Yes, Jordan Cox. That's the one.
About. Yes.
Jordan Cox, and do you remember the other name? It was a Toyota 86 and a Honda Civic. I think
an EG Civic,
EG
like
Civic,
a 95
yes.
era.
And
back when they still had dual wishbone suspension.
5 laps of absolute pedal to the metal street circuit. It was backwards and forwards, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. It was absolutely amazing. Improved production, Adelaide 500 2017, I want to say. So check it out.
Yeah, the Toyota was turbocharged and definitely had some extra go on the straights, but then Jordan in his Honda just had immense corner speed, and he was able to brake so much deeper than the Toyota.
Oh yeah.
And it made for an incredible battle.
So it looks like Walker has copped a bit of a time penalty there too, back in 10th. He's now showing a red dot. So Austin Walker has got 3 seconds worth of penalty. Oof, there you go.
3 seconds. I wonder what he did to deserve that.
Yeah.
Austin Walker from Indianapolis. He said that he owned a Pagani Huayra. Is that true? Does he actually own a Pagani Huayra? Because that would be very impressive if he did. That's quite a car. And his favorite race car driver is Walter Roll. I can definitely get along with this guy. Walter Roll, the famous rally driver.
So look, so Figueroa is still up the front. Petrie is only half a second behind him. So it's getting real tight in first and second now.
Look at this though, because the top 3 all have penalties.
Yes. There's quite a large gap between Petrie and Sean Milburn, 26 seconds. So
look at that. Austin Figueroa only has a 1 second penalty. Petrie and Milburn both have 2 second penalties. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays into the finish of this race.
So right now, for Petrie to win, he needs to clear Figueroa by at least 1 second.
Oh, check it out. Petrie's turned his high beams on. He's trying to get into Austin's head right now.
There you go. There's
the
lights.
flash. Look for the flash of the high beams.
I'm coming to get you, he says.
Yep, if you can just break their concentration just for that little bit, it can make the difference. If you get them to look up to their mirrors or anything like that. Quote
by Walter Roll: if you don't have flies scattered on your side window, you ain't going fast enough.
Yes, that's my kind of driving. Can we just all agree that rally driving is the best driving?
I mean, that's big kahuna stuff. Like, that's,
yes.
That's like, you've got bigger kahunas than anyone else, I feel.
I mean, I love all racing. I love touring car racing. I love tarmac. But in terms of just the raw driving talent, you can't beat rally driving.
Yeah.
It's just unmatched.
Yeah, your McRae's, your Lobes, your...
Mutons.
Yes. The absolute machines.
Redjack's asking what blue flag means. That is, we'll get back to your question in a second. Petrie is now in first place. So we didn't see the move, but he did get past Figueroa.
So Petrie has to make up at least 1 second in the next couple laps to be able to keep that first place, though.
Right, at the moment
coming up on lap traffic here.
Yeah, you're right. So we're starting to see the back of the lap traffic field now. It'll be interesting to see if that plays a role here. Both cars are going to go to the outside. Looks like they'll get by cleanly for now.
Michael McCullahan, I believe.
I believe you're right, in the green and white BMW, which more or less matches his green and white RX-8. So anyway, the blue flag. The blue flag is the passing flag, so that would be given to a car that is being lapped. And that lets you know, hey, there's a race going on for the leaders, and they're coming up behind you. Get out of the way and let them go. You're not involved in that particular battle, so let's not mess it up.
The battle for 5th and 6th between Brendan Hodges and Bro is something else as well. That's pretty close up here. So this is for 5th, 6th, or 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I should say. All these guys are still pretty close. So there's no penalties involved with these guys. These guys have all been clean so far.
Like Petrie is the only driver who's dipping down into the 29s at the moment. So now that he's in the front and in more or less clean air, he's probably going to be able to make a little bit of a breakaway. Unless, of course, he makes some big mistakes. We'll see.
He still hasn't hit that 1 second barrier. He's only got, this will probably be the last lap. They've just crossed the start finish, so...
You saw how that's breaking into that 129s there, too.
Oh, a little bit of contact there with the lapped car. It looks like it didn't affect him too much. It affected the lapped car more so than it did Figueroa.
This is gonna be close.
Video saying that hashtag GoBro made up 6 seconds after the incident.
Those guys are still super close back there for 5th and 6th. So they'll get this will be their last lap too.
James Gouveia currently in 10th place. Now James we've seen before in some of the other series that we've been covering. And actually I'm racing with James in is it the on-grid shootout or is it the super spec or is it both? I think it might be both. I'm competing in a couple series as well, and yeah, James is racing basically everything he can.
Oh, these guys are coming up to, that's through turn 10 there, coming up to turn 11. He's just over the 1 second. How's this gonna be when they cross the finish line? Is it gonna be enough?
I think they're gonna get one more lap. I think Petrie's gonna cross the line before it runs out. It's close. Yes, I think they are gonna go one more lap.
Austin Figueroa is really got to pull it out now. He's got to make up half a second.
Man, that could not have been closer to the line there. Regex, the top 3 were penalized most likely for corner cutting. So if you go off the racing surface more than just a little bit, you'll get a small penalty. 2 seconds, 1 second, 3 seconds. I've seen as high as 10 from people racking it up, but that's most likely what that's from.
One other difference between sim racing and real racing. In real racing, corner cutting is also penalized, but in a virtual sim race, it is up to the code. So the code knows exactly if the car is or is not cutting that corner. There is no margin for error at all. In a real race, someone has to see it and see you cut that corner. So you can kind of play with that and get away with it a little bit more in real life, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit open to the interpretation of the race director.
That's right. And did he gain an advantage? Oh, I know he wasn't trying or.
Yeah, was it an accident? Did he do that to avoid something else? But in the game, even if you're trying to avoid a wreck in front of you, you're still going to get penalized. So that is one difficulty. And the race is over. Petrie crosses the line in first. Well-deserved. Very well driven by Thomas there. Austin Figueroa in second place. Looks like Sean Milburn will take third. Although he still does have a little bit of track left.
Which is a much better position than where he finished in the last race.
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't looking good for him early on when he had that mistake. Looks like there's a lap car in front of him, but there's nobody pressuring from behind, so he doesn't even need to pass that car. He could just cruise on to the finish line and take away third place and get onto the podium.
Oh, Team Pro! That was real close back there with that might have been Pappas.
Regtex, yeah, the race director can't watch everybody. However, most race series nowadays do require you to have cameras in the car. So if the car that you're battling with believes that you've done something that you're not supposed to do, at the end of the race, they can bring their SD card and say, hey, have a look at this. I want to protest this move. So the race director can get eyes on everything in that way, just not during the race, but they can assess penalties after the race. And some sportsmen, you can see them high-fiving each other from inside their cars there, between Brandon Hodges and Reza Arsham. Great racing from all. Congratulations to Thomas Petrie for winning the first race of round 2. Much needed points after the disappointment he had at Sonoma. So
yeah, for sure.
That's definitely going to shake up the points board quite a bit.
So I'm assuming that we will have Frank inserted back into our race this race. So that was unfortunate that he got server kicked or whatever from this race, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to make it back in.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool that they can do that. Hopefully it keeps people honest. Honesty in motorsports? Become the wrong sport, sir.
That's exactly right. So there you go. That's our standings. We had Petrie does finish in first, even with that 2-second penalty. Finishes ahead of Austin Figueroa by just over half a second. Figueroa in second. Sean Milburn does finish third. Reza Arsham in fourth. Brandon Hodges in the lone Mercedes out there finishes fifth. Brad Austin sixth. Dave Brown seventh. Pappas in eighth. Austin Walker in ninth. And then Gary Sheehan rounds out our top 10 there with a clean no penalty race.
Guys, we had a front-wheel drive podium. All three on the podium were front-wheel drive cars.
That's nice, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. I think front-wheel drive is underrated.
No, that's true. You can have a well-tuned front-wheel drive car is absolutely a blast to drive.
Yeah. Not wrong. So there you go, guys. What did you think of that? That's race 1 at Laguna Seca. So give us your thoughts. Did you think everything was fair? Did you think the penalties were deserved if you managed to see them? Do you think everyone had a solid race from where they started? Obviously, it was a random grid. It wasn't qualified, so there's a lot to take in there. Where do they start the next race? We do not know. Again, that will be a random grid, but it will be with stock setup cars, as Nick was saying earlier on. So Rito says, trust me, the podium will change now without being able to use your own setup.
Sounds like Reno might know something we don't know.
Yes. So obviously there's a lot of people out there that do set up their cars or do tune their cars to how they like to drive them. Not necessarily off the showroom floor, straight to the track and pedal to the metal. But obviously we'll see what happens on this next race. It's about 5 minutes away. The drivers grab a drink of water and use the little boys' room, and they'll be back in their seats in about 5 minutes.
Yep, and in that time, looks like we've got Thomas Petrie in the channel with us. Thomas, can you hear us? Well, that was a pretty good race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish I could explain the adrenaline and the nerves from that one. That was a ton of fun, but it was very difficult.
So you had a little mistake towards the beginning. I don't remember what corner it was, but we saw you 4 wheels off in the dirt. What happened there?
That was coming out of turn 10. I dropped the wheel on the outside, and the car just snapped on me and shot inside, and I just did everything I could to keep it from hitting the wall.
Well, apparently you did a pretty good job, because not only did you keep it from hitting a wall, but you got it back on track and then chased down the leader. And you had a battle for a long time. Talk us through that battle and what was going through your head. What was your strategy? What kind of moves did you use to try to get around for the lead?
Well, the strategy ultimately was to just make no mistakes, which didn't exactly play out the way I hoped. I got that 2-second penalty pretty early on, and I was just trying to keep up with Austin and try to try to keep the gap tight, maybe hoping he would make a mistake. I wasn't really worried about anybody behind us because the gap was so large, the penalty wasn't going to make a difference. But when I saw him go off outside of turn 6 and he got the 1 second penalty and I got by, then after that it just turned into get a 1 second gap between us so that the penalties would even out and I could get away with a win.
So we didn't actually see how the pass happened. So you're saying he went wide in 6 and got a little bit of dirt?
Yeah, I think he went 4 wheels off on the outside of 6, and I think he was trying to avoid the penalty and slowed up a little bit, and that's what let me by. And then after he got the penalty, I was just pushing as hard as I could, trying to just extend the lead a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what's your strategy going into race 2? I guess you don't really know yet because we have no idea where you're going to start.
Well, ultimately, as always, the strategy is to not get taken out in the beginning. And then after that, it's just try not to make any mistakes. And I think this next one is going to be a little bit more difficult because I think a lot of people are going to be fighting with car setups that are a little bit unknown to them since everybody's been doing a lot of tuning lately.
So how do you feel with the stock setup compared to how far you've tuned your car? Have you tuned your car so far away from the stock setup that the stock setup will basically feel like a different car, or are you only make minute changes and pretty close to a stock setup?
I think it's close. It's not, obviously the stock setup is not ideal, but it's not the worst thing ever either. I think it's not going to last as long in the race without having to change the lines a little bit to kind of manage tires wearing and brakes wearing and things like that. But I'm pretty confident that I can at least do well in this next one as well.
Sweet.
All right, Thomas. Well, thank you for coming on and talking with us. We'll let you go and get yourself mentally prepared for race 2. But very well done. Nice driving, and good luck in race 2.
Thanks.
So, chat, who do you think? Race 2. Obviously, no one knows where anyone's starting. Obviously, you've all got your favorite drivers out there. Hashtag GoBro, hashtag Yagoo, tag Milburn Bros. And then give us all your hashtags out there. Post up your favorite drivers so we can give them a shout out, and hopefully you see them. You see those guys up on the podium.
Greener's asking where we can bet on these races. I think that's up to you.
I'll take your money, but it doesn't mean you get any back.
Yeah, Matt's got to hold the money because he's too slow to make away with the cash.
Hey, why do you give Hector the money? He's too slow to make away with the cash.
It was interesting to see this pass race with them allowed to change their car setups, that the Renaults finished 1, 2, and 3. I wonder if the default setup, if it'll also be front-wheel drive podium.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I've heard so within the default setups, you've got 2 options for each of these cars. You've got loose and you've got stable. And I've heard that on the BMW, the loose setup is very loose. But I have heard that it is faster. If you can manage it, it is faster than the stable setup. But that's not going to be the right move for every driver. Not everybody likes to drive sideways like Reza does. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't have the details on the other cars. I don't know how they are affected by the different setups. But
that's right. And it's not a 3-lap sprint. It's a half-hour slug. So tires in a stock setup don't usually last a good 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah. This game definitely, the way that it manages tire heat and tire wear, it tends to wear out quicker than some of the other sims. And of course, you can adjust how quick that happens. But just generally speaking, you end up feeling the grip loss more in this game than in some of the other sims.
So a few minutes to go here, and then we'll get underway with race 2, or should we say race 3? I guess round 2, race 2. That's easier. Of the US Touring Car Championship Virtual Series here at Laguna Seca. We've got both Colin and Nick to my left. Yes, kind of. If you're watching, it might be on your right. I'm not sure. And everyone here from Edge TV as well. This is all brought to you by them. So like, subscribe, and follow. And you can check out a link a little bit further below to their channel.
Yeah, and also if you haven't checked out US Touring in real life, by the way, check them out. It's a really cool race series. It's the most affordable way to do professional touring car racing. It's televised when they're actually doing real life races and not just sim races. So give them a look. Instagram, Facebook, and if you're interested, if you've got a race car, if you're building a race car, check them out. Might be a good place to go.
That's right. Everyone's got their rule books available. So when you're building a race car, make sure you can fit it into as many series as possible. You know, don't discount any if you're building one for a certain track. What do you call them? Track organization. Don't discount the other guys out there like USTCC or whoever else. Make sure you build a very well-rounded race car that can fit into many series.
Yeah, when I built my Lexus, there's a lot of crossover. So I built it for SP class in US Touring, but that's also very similar to NASA ST5. And then the TC class in US Touring is very similar to NASA ST4. So if you have a car that does one, it only takes some very minor trimming to make it work in the other as well. So then you can get a double season in, which don't do a double season unless you are really prepared to do it. And I can tell you that from experience. But
I lived with Nick here during that double season. And let's just say ramen noodles is an expensive night out.
Red Check says, make your cars as loud as you can when building. Well, yes, unless you're going to Laguna Seca.
I was just going to say,
then make it as quiet as you can.
Yes, there are stock street cars that do not pass the sound requirements of Laguna Seca. So it's pretty funny.
Porsche GT3 will not pass sound at Laguna Seca.
Google Laguna pipes while we're waiting for race 2 to start, and you'll see people do some pretty interesting creations to try to quiet their cars down. Basically just bolting additional mufflers on their cars, like behind the car, pointing up past the bumper. That's a bit ridiculous.
Another trick some people do is, if you know where the decibel meters are, you just go really slow through those areas.
Right, but if we're racing, that will not do.
Of course.
For track day, you could, sure, whatever. If you don't care about lap times, fine. But yeah, if you're racing, you can't lift because it's up a hill as well. The last time. Yeah, so there's another thing you can do, which is called an electronic exhaust cutout, and you can wire that to a button inside the car, where when you hit the button, it opens and closes a valve inside the exhaust pipe, so it diverts it to or away from a muffler. But like, if you're at Laguna Seca, and you're gonna have to be quiet in that one stretch anyway, what is the point of opening the exhaust? You're not going to make any more horsepower. It's just going to make more noise. And all you have to do now is remember to close it again when you get to that same point.
That's right. So, if you're racing, you're in the heat of battle, and you forget, like, it's not just that's a 1 second penalty. That's a 3 strikes. You're back on the trailer. You're out.
Right.
Well, hey, maybe that can be an intimidation factor, like flashing your high beams. Open up that exhaust, and then the person you're battling with is like, whoa, did his car just get faster all of a sudden?
I gotta get on my soapbox for just a minute here. Guys, anybody who's going to track at Laguna Seca, I know that you know all the tricks. Don't do them. And here's why. Actually make your car quiet, because if your car is louder than it's supposed to be, but you get away with it by going past the sound booth, off throttle or whatever, and then you're loud everywhere else, the neighbors who like to complain, they're going to be like, well, it's 90 dB, but it's still way too loud, and now we have to make it quieter. And it's just going to keep getting worse until the track disappears entirely. So please, do everybody a favor. Actually make your cars quieter for Laguna Seca. Don't cheat the system. It just hurts everybody, including you. It hurts everybody.
Yeah, there used to be a track here in Southern California, I believe it was Ontario, and its demise was sound limits. As people populated the area and complained about sound, they were unfortunately forced to close the track.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was one in Ontario. There's Riverside as well, which doesn't exist anymore. It is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's right. I think things like that disappeared because of what's a nice way to put these people? I hear a little birdie on my shoulder whispering naughty words. But yes, they're not the people we need around racetracks. But unfortunately, we can't get rid of them. And that's
guys,
just
I'll be
the way
back
it
in
is.
30 seconds. I don't think I'm going to make another 30-minute race.
So we've just had the instant disappearance of one of our commentators right at a critical point, a critical turning point, you could say. So, hello, Mr. GTR Chair. How you doing? Ah, yeah, good. Yeah. Sweet. Oh, awesome. So, Twitch chat, are you ready? You ready to see race 2? I want to see all your hashtags. I want to see all the fancy, awesome hashtags that you guys have come up with. So there you go. There's our starting grid for race 2. It looks like how is that? That's is that Sheehan on the front row? That's Michael Shahan. Sean.
I wonder if any of these drivers are taking a bathroom break right now while their car's on grid.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad time. So where's our main contenders? We've got Petrie starting in 9th. We've got Razor Arsham in 8th. So that's a fantastic battle straight off the bat. You got 8th and 9th for those guys. One of the Milburn brothers in 6th, the other in 18th. So that's oh wow, that's Sean Milburn all the way back in 18th position. That's a bit unfortunate, but that's luck of the draw.
Looks like the front of the grid is all packed with the BMWs, so it'll be interesting to see these faster Renaults making their way up if they're able to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's the Opel of Cheatham in 16th position, that orange and grey. Got Austin Figueroa, the second place winner, back in 17th position as well. So, very random grid. So, are you guys ready?
And here we go.
There you go, lights out. Oh, that's a fantastic start for the third of Francis there.
Contact already.
Oh, they're 4 wide. Oh,
my
thanks,
God.
contact.
That's in
Got
the
a couple
dirt.
cars off. That is too many cars and too small of a space.
Oh, it looks like a big crash back in the field.
Oh, there was a bit of a tap. Love tap there. There's cones. Oh, wow.
Cones flying.
Man, they were so clean in race 1. Oh, there's another car turned
someone's
around. That
sideways.
BMW. The white and blue BMW on the inside of turn 2. Not sure who that was.
So,
Guys, Petrie's already in 2nd place.
wow, there you go. That's huge move. And right on the tail is Razor Arsham there. So he's also
Third.
moved up 5 positions from 8th. So he's doing all right. They've both cleared a lot of people. Back in 5th, you've got Daniel Milburn.
And that's the thing with race starts. There's a potential.
7th position, Sean Milburn, from all the way back from 18th.
Wow. There's on a race start, there's the potential to gain a lot, but there's also the potential to lose a lot if you
there's touch
get
in the
some bad
corkscrew.
contact.
Doesn't look like Figueroa. Who's also in 9th, comes back from 17th. So all these guys have made up a lot of spaces. Looks like Cheatham's up from the back into 13th as well.
Oh,
More contact.
Wow.
Petrie and Dan Zargam
almost
get together
pushed him
coming
into
out
the
of turn
wall.
11.
That was a little bit dirty, I feel.
Yeah, we'll have to do the...
Who's going to outbreak who coming into turn 1?
there might be a protest on that later. Look, they're perfectly side by side, but Petrie will get the advantage on the inline there. but will Zargum get a better exit? That is the question.
Ooh,
we got people 3 wide back there.
Look at that angry pack of cars behind them. That's, oh man.
These guys are close. So we have 5 seconds from first place to 12th.
Oh, contact! Trouble!
Crash.
Oh no!
Looks like Austin Figueroa got the worst of that. Ended up hitting the inside wall at turn 4.
Oh man, that was very, very unlucky. Who was that? That blue and white car. That wasn't one of the Milburn boys. I wonder who that was. It's further back.
Two identical. Are those both of the Milburns together?
Yes, up in third.
Yes, it is.
Fourth
Third and
there.
fourth. Daniel Milburn in 4th place. Sean Milburn in 3rd.
Those races are quite a bit messier than race 1. These drivers don't have their cars set up the way that they are comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely. No
Got a
one's
bunch
caught
of
a
Milburn
penalty
fans
yet,
in chat right now. Ooh, a little bit of dirt on the exit there. Keeps it mostly on track. No penalties yet, interestingly.
Hashtag
So there's
Team
been a
Bro.
Been a lot of contact, but no corner cutting yet. We got a Z Twinkie saying, "Go Austin Ron," if that's how that's pronounced.
Austin Ryan in 8th position at the moment.
Now you see the difference in lines coming through turn 2 there. You can be tighter in the middle, and that's going to give the advantage. It's good for making a pass. However, you're going to get monstered on the exit, and whoever's got the inline into turn 3 is also going to have the inline into turn 4, and that's big. So
he did himself!
More trouble.
There. Got a little away from him a little bit too much. Too much mustard on that
Walker,
corner.
I believe.
Oh my gosh, more
Walker's round.
contact.
Was that
What has
Team Bro?
happened?
That's
These
Brad
drivers
Austin
are
and
just
Team
all
Bro.
over the place.
Oh no. Then that's
Luckily
the goo
they
just gone past him.
Luckily they get clear of the track before they collect anybody else. But man, they were so clean in race 1. I feel like they've lost their heads a little bit for race 2.
Absolutely, there'd be some hot helmets, as I like to say.
And this is all good news for the Milburns, for Petrie, for Zargum. They are just going to be able to run away at the front while everybody else fights over positions further back in the mid-pack.
That's right, that was 5 seconds between 1st and 12th, half a lap ago, and now we're looking at just under 5 seconds between 1st and 2nd.
So we have 2 cars back there in the pits, probably getting some damage repaired from one of those incidents. They're both out now.
Gary Sheehan and McCullough.
Oh, Brad McClure.
Brad McClure, sorry. That's Troy McClure's younger brother. You might remember him from such and such programs as The Wizard of Oz.
Some better days.
Yeah, and remember, if anybody's just joining us now for race 2, damage is turned on. So the reason he did pull into the pits there is because if he didn't, his car would have been quite a bit slower than it was supposed to be.
So Nick Pappas in 7th. Pappy Pappas. So Nelly in chat says, "Go Nick, watching from Spreckles."
Nick Pappas from Redding, California. He's a marketing coordinator, and his favorite track is Sonoma. I don't believe he was at the Sonoma race last week, though.
I don't see him in the standings, so I don't believe so.
Austin Figueroa currently in 8th position after that little bit of trouble he had earlier.
He's got Cheatham right behind him there in the lone opal, that orange and silver.
Raised after his trouble, back into 5th place. Looking at the back, that's probably Daniel Milburn's Renault. Man, that is close. But I feel like that he's not helping himself there because if you're that close in the middle of the corner, you're not going to get a great exit. And of course, I say that, and he still gets a nose in. I think.
Oh, that's Biffo. That's pushing him wide. That was dirty.
That looks deliberate. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, guys.
If anyone's got I'm going to put a protest in for that. That is not very nice, is one way of putting it.
That's one thing if it's in the middle of a corner and, you know, it could just be a genuine accident, but that was on a straightaway.
Yeah,
I feel like that might have been
ugly.
intentional.
What do you think, chat? What would you rate that? Is that ugly or is that fair racing?
Is it ugly or is it beautiful? Oh, somebody just
someone
left a bumper in the middle of the racetrack. Daniel out a little bit wide while he's trying to make up the lost ground.
Yo, Reg Hex. I won't repeat that, but everyone can read that. I at 847. Dan's pissed. LeMayo.
Hey, LeMayo.
Gramer says DQ worthy. Well, there you go.
I don't know if it's DQ worthy.
Yeah,
but
I
it's certainly
wouldn't
a
say
stern
that.
talking
I mean,
to.
You know, you can get aggressive and, you know, try to push the driver around a little bit on the track. I don't know if it's DQ worthy.
Frying Solo has finally made it. Welcome, Frying Solo.
Howdy,
It's good to have you here
Frying
as
Solo.
always. On board here with Brandon Hodges. A lot of damage on that Mercedes as well.
Oh!
Look at that windshield.
So, a lot of these guys are running a VR setup, so that's the goggles, you know, you can't see. So that means that that's what you see. You see out of that windscreen, you see the cracks. And that can really
not
take
much
away your
else.
concentration.
Yeah, you see the cracks and not much else.
Looks like Cheatham's copped a penalty. So that's a little unfortunate for him in ninth,
Oh, I think
ninth
that's our
place there,
first
just,
penalty of the race.
1 second.
Oh, there's another one. Daniel Milburn with a 2-second.
There you go.
We got a bunch of fans of Dino Dan.
Wow, they're really
assume
Mary
that's-
Bean and Semper Fi.
I assume Dino Dan is Daniel Milburn. Back on board with Nick Pappas here. His car still looks pretty clean. No damage there. Currently running in
No bugs?
6th position. Yeah, where are your bugs on the side windows, Nick? Clearly, you're not driving fast enough yet. Ooh, nice and close in the braking zone. Who's going to get a better run?
Ooh.
Looks like Nick's going to get a better run, but it's not going to matter because maybe it will matter if he gets a nose in through turn 9. No, he's not able
gonna
to
get
hold
it.
that in line there. So Nick hasn't been racing in real life yet. He specified not yet, but he does have a Chevy Corvette as a street car, which is a very fine racing car as well if you tune it to be one. I know Rob Harper has been racing his Corvette in US Touring GT class.
Who's that?
That's Dan Zargam on the inside of
Sean Milburn.
Sean Milburn, right. Dan finished 2nd at Sonoma, so we know he's got some pace in that BMW. But will he be able to shake and bake and dice?
Sean Milburn was on for 3rd, was it? Until he got flipped?
Yeah, he was at Sonoma. He was
first.
He was
and
certainly
got
in the
flipped.
battle for the lead.
There you go. So those two guys have history. The engineers at Toyota, Nick just coughed. F.
Uh-oh. That's it, guys. That's it for me.
Yo, man. Dang. Stay away, bro. Stay away. Putting up my hex. Sorry.
It's the Karuma Vengus. Oh, no.
Karuma fingers. All right, just under 20 minutes remaining in race 2 here at Laguna Seca. Grima says, DQ everyone who isn't a twin. Easy, yeah.
I'm sure there's 2 drivers in here who would definitely agree with that strategy.
Looks like
Reza
Reza might
looking
be
at the
going
inside.
for another pass into turn 1.
Well, let's see how
Let's see if he keeps it clean
how
this
clean
time.
this is.
He pulls back out of it. He's still got the nose on the
he's got
inside.
See, that was a much better positioning. Let's see
Much
what happens
better,
here.
but look,
He's on the outside.
But Zargan
Yeah.
has the inside, although
Have to
he's
pull
way
inside,
on the
outside
inside. Way on the inside. That's going to hurt his exit speed. Still on the inside for turn 4. There's a long straightaway after turn 4, so let's see if Reyes is able to get a better exit and, and come back. Look at that to the left. Now he's going to have the inline going into turn 5 up the hill.
Oh, he's giving it.
Oh,
No, I feel like they both
They're
kind
giving
of
each
choked
other
a little
room.
bit there.
braked a little early there.
Looks like Zargan's got the run up the hill, and he will hold that. Let's see who gets a better run through turn 6. Looks like Reza. Oh, but he
loose.
throws it away with a big slide.
We've had a request from Frying Solo. Get your mouse out of here, Wayne.
Fighting words. Do not harass the producer, chat. That's unfair.
That's
He
right.
can't talk back.
He can't defend himself here. This is close up here, and Pappas is going to just really take the cake out of this.
Oh, Razor look to the inside. Will they slow each other down? Oh, Zargum got slowed down for sure.
Well, Peppy Pappas has taken that position away from Zargum. Also, Zargum, I think, has copped a penalty for track limits on that one as well. So that's.
I think you're right. I don't think there was any contact between him and Arsham. I think he just went wide all on his own.
Well, both overshooting the braking zone a little bit there.
They're a bit hot in the helmets. They got to be a little bit more cool, calm, and collected.
Speaking of cool, calm, and collected,
NRG Milburns with a little emoji. Little what kind of emoji is that?
I have absolutely no idea. Wayne, I see where you put your mouse. You know exactly what I was going to say. Speaking of cool, calm, and collected, Dave Brown currently sitting back in 14th position. So this has not been a great race for Dave.
Hey, Colin, quick maths. How many points for 14th position?
I refuse to do math on a live broadcast, actually.
It's 62 points.
Nice, thank you very much.
62 points, guys.
that was
Luckily,
a bit of a setup.
I still have that tab open.
Quick maths. Man does quick maths.
Quick reading, more like. There's absolutely no possible way I could have done those maths on the fly. Here we go, Austin Ron. Is it... Chat, how do you pronounce his name? Write it out phonetically for us.
Rahan?
We don't have any info about him in our documents over here, so you guys got to tell us about him. Andy Chittum here, sitting in 11th. Austin Ron, I'm just going to say Ron, that sounds right to me.
Ron sounds
sitting in
right.
10th, trying to chase down, I believe that's Michael Shawhan, in the same liveried BMW in front of him.
Frying Solo. Yes, that's exactly right. 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
So glad you're here, Frying Solo. What would we do without you?
Looks like Walker is doing well. Merrill 2020.
Apparently it said like Ron. And he's a boss.
Ron. Stop it, Ron.
Boss Ron. Hashtag Big Boss Ron. Where's our hashtag Big Boss Ron guys in chat?
Yes, come on, chat. If someone doesn't have a hashtag, give them a hashtag. That's what you guys are there for. Get behind your favorite drivers.
2020, everybody. Everybody needs a hashtag.
That's right. We got hashtag Team Bro, hashtag Yagoo. We got Dino Dan, the Milburn.
Even we have hashtags. Did you know that?
Right,
we got Crisis Cometer over there on the left. Sorry, I'll figure this out someday.
That's right. Now you know what I was saying before. I don't know whether it's the left or the right because it's all wrong.
Opposite.
Colin, do you have a hashtag?
Do I have a hashtag? You could make me one.
Oh, that's a tag!
Wow.
Figueroa keeps it!
Well,
Figueroa was setting up to do an under-over, and it looked like a beautiful move. He didn't realize that there was another car there, tucking the nose into the inside. They made some contact. Luckily, I don't think either of them spun. They just lost a little bit of time.
Man, that was...
Chat's asking if it's possible for Sean to close that time. Currently, Petrie has almost a 13-second lead. It's going to be tough. There's 13 and a half minutes remaining in the race. I think Petrie would have to make a mistake or two, or maybe get caught up into lap traffic.
Yeah.
But it's certainly possible. It is definitely possible.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically it's possible until 13 seconds before the end of the race. The engineers at Toyota calls for a tribunal before the FIA. I agree. Let's get the guys in. Let's get Jean Todt Well, I'll get him on the phone. I think I've got his cell phone number available.
I'm impressed that you even know the name.
After this.
How did you know his name? Nobody knows his name. That's a weird thing to know. You're weird.
Who?
Moving on. On board with Austin Walker here in 11th position. A little 2 wheels off coming out of turn 9. That is a tricky corner. Turn 9, you can't see all the way through the turn because it's so long. It's very downhill, so you end up gaining a lot of speed through the corner. And it tightens towards the exit, and you lose the camber. It goes off camber. So it's like all of the difficult things all wrapped into one. The only thing it doesn't have is a crest. But if you can figure out how to really nail that corner, you can pick up you can gain a lot of position on cars there, because it is very difficult to get it right consistently.
Reg Hex, how often do these races happen on here? This is hella fun. You guys are great casters. Thanks, man. We appreciate that.
Thank you. You're a great viewer.
That's exactly right. Yeah, all you guys in chat keeping us occupied while the race is on. You're all fantastic. We appreciate every one of you. It's always enjoyable having a bunch of the regulars and a bunch of you new guys who have joined us for the first time today as well. So
to answer your question, though, these U.S. touring races happen once every week, 7:15-ish on Saturdays, and then of course we've also been doing what we refer to as the server smackdown, which is commentating on Wreckfest races. But we specifically found a group of the top Wreckfest drivers in the world. If you look at the Wreckfest leaderboard, these guys' names are on it constantly. So we commentate with them. Obviously, that's a little bit different since the game is quite a bit different than the sim racing we see here. But that's a lot of fun too. And we did one of those earlier today at about 1 p.m. But just follow Edge TV Gaming on Twitch, and then you'll get notifications every time we go live.
That's right. Like, follow, subscribe, all those buttons above, below, to the side. We'll keep you updated on all of our live broadcasts.
Semper Faith says, I am Bay. Thank you, Semper Faith.
Damn.
Ooh.
But Austin, Ron. Nick Pappy Pappas.
No, we've already confirmed. We've already confirmed it's Ron. R-O-N, Ron.
Ron. Stop it, Ron.
Stop it, Ron. Oh.
Leviosa. Oh, there's a guy the wrong way on the corkscrew.
That was Zargum. That was Dan Zargum, who just made a mistake all on his own over the corkscrew. The car gets light over the top there, and it looks like he just yeeted all the way off the track on the left side.
That is the only word you can insert there. That is all he did. He just decided to yeet.
I feel like the corkscrew is a corner where you either yeet or you don't yeet.
To yeet or not to yeet, that is the question. F in the chat for Zargum yeeting his way off the corkscrew, guys.
You know, for yeeting off the corkscrew, it actually seems like he didn't come out of that too bad. I would expect him to need to go into the pits after that, but he's still out there.
Yeah, I don't think he caught the wall, actually. I think he just went into the dirt and then got back onto the track. So that's pretty lucky. He lost some position, but not a whole lot of time.
What would you say the past tense of yeet? Yote? Would you say Dan Zargum yoted?
Yoted.
He did a yote?
Ooh, almost trouble going into turn 2. Austin Walker on the inside of Daniel Milburn. But Daniel is going to have the better run out and have the line into turn 3. Phoenix says they always appreciate a good Harry Potter reference.
Absolutely.
Stop it, Phoenix.
That's a car in the dirt. That's a very dirty Mercedes. There's two Mercedes.
Are there?
This is news to me.
There are not two. There are not two on our list here.
One, which is driven by Brandon Hodges, which I believe is the blue. So it looks like Austin Ron or Austin Walker. Do we literally have 3 Austins in this race?
I think we do.
Yeah.
Frying Solo says, I love you idiots so much. Thank you.
It's Leviosa.
We're confusing about 75% of the people watching this. And you know what? And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
You've only got just over 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes left.
It's exactly 8 minutes remaining.
To put up with us, so you're nearly free, chat. You're nearly free. But meanwhile, these guys are absolutely dicing. Petrie has put in 15 seconds above Sean Milburn up the front, so he's cruising.
He did just get himself a little bit of a penalty, though. Let's see how much it is. I don't think it's going to be very much, probably 2 seconds.
One.
Not even 1 second.
So,
clearly,
sorry, he's only got a 14-second lead now, including the penalty.
Yeah, only 14.
Yeah.
Great way to spend a quarantined Saturday night. I agree.
Absolutely. D-Beta 18120.
Battle Sports with a Let's Go Nick. Nick currently sitting in 4th. Frying Solo with a Go Mill. You got to be more specifics, Frying Solo. There's 2. We got 2 Milburns here.
That's right. We've got Sean up in 2nd, and then we got Dino Dan Milburn back in 10th.
Hashtag Dino Dan. Come on, chat. Where's our Dino Dan tandem?
Midfield.
Oh,
Say again, Colin?
Dicing it out.
Sometimes the middle of the pack is where the best racing happens.
Well, I mean, in a sandwich, that's where the good stuff is, right?
2 wide in turn 9. Daniel Milburn is going to get a run on the outside. Will he be able to do an under-over? No, not quite. He was a little late on the turn-in. Look how close all these drivers still are.
A little move by the Mercedes. Who is that?
That would be Austin Walker in the green and gray Mercedes.
I don't think he's going to hold it here. He didn't quite have the run-up.
No, that's right. And usually the front-wheel drive cars will have a little bit more sauce on the straightays. Whoa!
That's
really deep in the braking zone.
Whoa.
From downtown.
These guys are back.
You know what? I think that's going to work.
No,
he's sideways. No, Austin!
He got a little too excited.
That was unfortunate.
If it wasn't for that little bit of contact, I think that dive would have worked because he was on the outside through turn 2. That's going to put him on the inside for turn 3, and he was far enough alongside. Not for that contact, I would have been his spot.
I think he just got a little too impatient there. He had him on the straightaway, and then once he got back past him part ways down the straight, that excitement took over, and he just wanted to maintain that position so badly. He was a little bit more patient and just waited for the opportunity to pass again. He would have been okay.
Yeah, you're right. There's our Dino Dan coming in, chat. Red Checks, I have no idea where this server is located. That would be a race director question, if he even is able to tell, but very likely it's somewhere in the US.
Hidden on an island in neutral territory.
Guys, was that an outside pass in turn 10?
Man, team
bro. Did you guys see that?
Hashtag bro.
Hashtag bro. With an outside pass in turn 10. That corner, it looks like it's a pretty normal turn, but in reality, it's really difficult. It kind of dips down, and the braking zone's kind of weird, and cars tend to get really loose there, so to go for an outside pass...
Oh, over and under here from Brad Austin on Dave Brown. Can he make that stick?
A very nice move. God, we're seeing some really good racing, some great dicing between these drivers. Ooh. So all we used the number 22 Miata. Who's the number 22 Miata? We got more love for the Harry Potter references from MX Zoe.
Oblinum? I don't know, how do you say that?
It doesn't matter because he's got another hashtag for us. Nitro Nick.
Nitro Nick, Pappy Pappas. I love it. On board with hashtag Nitro Nick right there. So he's in the other car that kind of looks like the Milburn brothers. But
a little bit more blue.
Yes.
A little bit more blue, a little bit less white.
With red wing mirrors.
Yes.
Sorry.
Wing mirrors.
Wing. Whip.
Not to be confused with titanium white.
White.
I mean, Austin, he's like moving that wheel around, seesawing back and forth, like Paul Bunyan or something.
Like Paul Bunyan, famous for his seesaw driving technique.
So on board here with Brad Austin in the Renault Megane.
We are being inundated with Harry Potter references right now in chat, guys.
What have we done?
What have we done? Matt, I think this is your fault. I think you started this.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it next week. I'll promise I'll refrain from Harry Potter references next week.
No, Lord of the Rings next week.
Lord of the Rings, all right.
Brad Austin looking for a way around Austin Walker. The Battle of the Austins.
There was actually a really nice sandwich shop back in Adelaide I used to frequent when I was in the city. It was actually called Austin and Austin. Would you believe it?
Oh, there you go. I would.
Used to be a nice little cute, I don't know, what would you call it? Hipster kind of shop. They had board games you could play, all different craft beers, and really good sandwiches. It was good.
We got Order of the Phoenix in chat saying, "No, Matt, long live Harry Potter."
Free Dobby.
Don't listen to them.
Hashtag Nitro Nick. Yes, absolutely. Nitro Nick. Nitro Nick, Pappy Pappas. In 4th position at the moment, right on the back of Razor Arsham. Razor Arsham has a couple of penalties.
Who's that in the BMW on the inside there? He just touched the wall.
Was that slowing? Was that mechanically slowing? Or was that Charlie Franks getting blue flagged? Yes, there you go.
Oh, that could be.
That
could be, yep.
Very good observations there from Charlie. Making a pullover there for everyone to get past.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe pulled over a little farther than he needed to. I don't think you're required to hit the wall when you're given the blue flag, but you know, the effort is still appreciated.
Nitro Nick, Pappy Pappas here in 4th spot still. He's right on the tail of Razor Arsham.
A good run out of turn 9 as well, although a little bit squiffy through turn 10. Let's see who gets the best run out of 11.
With only
I think
51
it's going to be
seconds,
Reza. But Reza's got a big slide. Even so, he's able to pull out of that turn with more speed.
So make sure you remember that Razor Arsham has penalties. So if these guys stay how they are, I reckon Pappy Pappas is going to take him.
It's only a 1 second penalty, though.
Close, isn't it?
Only 1 second.
So it's going to end up the same as how 1st and 2nd ended up last time. Real close down to where they've crossed the finish line.
I don't think we're going to go another lap, guys. I think this is going to be it. Petrie's coming through the corkscrew now. There's only 10 seconds remaining, so this is going to be the final lap right here. Red Check saying we need to check under Petrie's hood. If you did open his hood, what you would see is just a sign that says "seat time," and that's it.
I'll put that request forward to the FIA. I'll get them to check it out, mate. Wow,
Rito's pointing out. Whoa, what happened there with Reza? Will Nick be able to capitalize on that mistake? He looks to the inside. I don't think he's close enough, though. But Rito made a really good point in chat, and that is Dave Brown. Ooh. Oh, another mistake for Reza.
He might go around the outside.
They're side by side through turn 10. Will Nitro Nick be able to make that stick? I think he will.
That's a fantastic racing there.
Wow, what a move.
Nitro Nick, Pappy Pappas.
Oh, and a big slide for Reza, but it won't matter because even if Reza was in front, he wouldn't be far enough away to make up for that 1 second penalty. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, Dave Brown does not have a penalty. The 3 cars in front of him do. So I wonder if that's going to play.
Off track there. Who is that?
Look, Dave is right on Cheatham's rear bumper, so I think probably he's going to take that position away.
Yes.
So that would put Dave Brown into 8th rather than 9th, as long as he stays close.
So 8th will give him... So from 6th down, you get single points handed to you. So it's all pretty close up there, but that spot for 3rd from Nitro Nick Pappas, that's definitely a good move.
Yeah. Now keep an eye on the standings here. So Dave Brown finishes in 8th. Yeah, look at that. It just switched it. So Cheatham finishes 9th. Dave Brown finishes 8th, and that's because of that penalty.
There you go.
Well, that is race 2 done, but everybody stick around because we're going to get some of these drivers in for interviews. Now, we already talked to Petrie. He had a pretty lonely race at the front, so let's get a Milburn in here. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. For sure.
And we haven't talked to Nitro Nick yet, so I think we got to get Nitro Nick in here. This is his first race in the series.
Pappas.
There we go. Well, let's get those three in, and I will send a quick message here to make that happen.
So, what did you think, chat? How did you enjoy that race? Because I'm sure Petrie enjoyed it quite a lot, just sitting out the front. Nice 21-second lead he crosses the line with. That is very, very impressive. Very solid drive from him. So he'll take out the win in race 2 there. Sean Milburn, he's going to finish second. Nick Pappas in third. Razor Arsham in fourth. The first of the Austins, Austin Figueroa, finishing fifth. Dan Zargam, sixth. And the second of the Austins, Austin Ron in seventh. Team Bro, Dave Brown in eighth. Andy Cheatham in ninth. And Brandon Hodges in the first of the Mercedes in 10th.
Guys, did I mention, did I say 3 names to pull in for interviews, or only 2?
You only said 2 to us, but then you said we're going to pull in 3. So you do whatever you need to do, sir.
Let's let chat decide. Chat, who is the third driver you'd like to hear from?
Frying Solo wants the cone. I enjoyed watching the cone get murdered.
We can't talk to the cone, Frying
And they
Solo.
also want quick maths.
We also can't talk to maths. Hans, we've already got Sean coming in.
Got a Reza, we got Ron.
You got absolutely everybody coming up.
Can we get a consensus, guys? We've already got Nick. We've already got Nick, and we've already got Sean. So give us a third. We need a consensus. Come on, chat.
Let's get Andy Cheatham in here. I want
to
to know how that Opal drive. Dino Dan. Get Dino Dan. Dino Dan.
I think Dino Dan would be a good one. I think I agree with that. Let's get Dino Dan.
Yep. Supportsuka wants the Milkman.
The Milkman's not here. Get over it and move on with your life. Wrong series.
The Milkman's too busy delivering milk. Remember
Yeah.
that? Hashtag 911.
What did I just come in on, guys?
Who?
Who have we got?
it?
Who have we got here?
Sean Milburn.
Sean Milmer, did you just interrupt us mid-sentence?
I did.
Sir? Drivers speak when they're spoken to.
Oh, I'll go back to my corner. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Sean, that was a great race. Second place. And where did you finish in race 1?
I finished third in race 1.
All right. Well, that's a solid race.
It was a really good combo. First race was super hairy. I went off on 10, and the car came full circle.
me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What?
I don't know what my brain. I just got out of an intense situation. Okay, so my brain's not there yet. Anyways, yeah, it came all the way around, and I lost like 4 positions off of that. So I just went to work and started getting them back one by one. I had a really good battle against Brad actually for third place. Then I came across my brother, who was one of the back markers in that race, because I guess something happened to him in the beginning.
Fighting words.
Yeah, so I got by him, and into turn 6, he was kind of off pace. So it looked like I went into the server, and everybody thought that it might have been a block or something like that. But I would not have my brother block for me, because that's shady racing, and I don't want to have that kind of name on myself. So yeah, the first race was good. Second race I actually started out in 18th place, like on the grid, 18th all the way in the back, and I was able to snag a second out of it.
Yeah, we were watching that, and it wasn't just you either. There was you and Petrie and Reza all absolutely flew through the field. I mean, just a couple of corners, you were almost at the front already.
Dude, it was insane. Like I was expecting it was going to take like quite a bit of work to move my way up, and everybody seemed to be wanting to take like the outside line for like setting up for corners near the beginning. So I just took the advantage, and I just followed the people up the inside when they were trying to pass, and just followed them through. And I did that until I got into about 5th place, and then I went to work. My brother was in about 3rd at that point. He didn't let me pass, so I had a battle in for that, which was pretty fun. And then got up to 2nd place after a battle. I think it was with Dan. He was in the orange BMW. That was a fun battle there. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy. I'll say I kind of pulled back on my pace once I got 2nd because I knew I was not going to catch Petrie with an 11-second lead on me. So I just was really trying to hold my position at that point.
I believe he finished with 22 seconds on you, mate.
Yeah, he finished with 22 on me because he was definitely holding some faster lap times. But at the time I got to 2nd place, it was about 11 seconds, which was doable. But knowing me versus Petrie, I drive with the guy pretty often. He's fast, really fast. So I didn't want to push too hard and risk what I already had to potentially somehow gain 11 seconds to even get behind him,
Yeah, well, you ran a great couple of races. Really good points night for you.
It was very satisfying.
I'm very happy for you after what happened at Sonoma. Man, you deserve to have a good couple of races.
Yeah, Sonoma was rough. I was pretty upset about that one, but I just put in the practice for this next race here, hoping that everything would go well and don't hit any cars. That was the biggest thing, is don't hit anyone. Just no damage, no times off the track, no getting any penalties, and just see what you can do from there. And that's how it ended up.
Yeah, well, great race, great race. And by the way, you have a huge fan club in Twitch chat, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome. It's good to
go back and watch the race and just follow along with chat. You've got a lot of fans.
Definitely. I really want to see that back, see all the action that isn't from my perspective either. Plus, you guys have some really nice casting, all very professional. So good job on your end.
You're too kind. All right, Sean, thank you very much. Good luck for the next race, and I'm sure you'll be practicing.
Yeah, I will be, and I'll see you guys there.
All right, so next up, we've got the 3rd place finisher with a brand new hashtag. We have hashtag Nitro Nick Pappas. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Did you know about your new hashtag?
I've just found out about it, but I love it. I think I'm going to put that on all my social media bios.
It's perfect. You can have it for the low price of $19.99 every month directly into my PayPal account.
Ooh, that's a little steep. I'm not sure.
So we watched you quite a bit during that, especially race 2, and you had some great moves. You had some really close battles. Talk us through your race.
Well, race 2 for me was difficult. I started last. I started 21st. So it was just about getting up through the field. Luckily, there was some mayhem that happened in front of me that kind of cleared people out. And then it was just about getting through the faster people, getting through the people that hadn't made mistakes. And then at the very end there, me and Reza were having a good battle. I had been catching him, and it came down to literally the last corner, but it all worked out.
Yeah, that move at the end was we just so happened to be watching right when that happened. When I think it was turn 9 that Reza made a little mistake, and you just dove left to the outside of turn 10 and made it stick on the outside, and that was pretty impressive. Although I will say it wouldn't have mattered either way because Reza had a 1-second penalty, so if you were just on his bumper, you would have beaten him anyway.
Yeah, I'd actually seen that. I was trying to time it to where if I couldn't get past him, I could be within a second coming out of the last corner. But every time it seemed like I was, a second and a 10th back, or always a little over a second back. So luckily I was able to make it stick around the outside of turn 10 there.
Yeah, that would have been a great move. Little bit disappointing if you lost, even though he had a penalty by 1/10 of a second.
Oh, that would have been painful.
Yep. So how about talk about strategy going into round 3?
Round 3. Well, I got to learn this game a little bit more. I downloaded it literally at 10:30 this morning, so I got to put in some practice and learn some stuff. and
I feel like a 3rd position finish since 10:30 this morning is pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
I mean, I guess it's okay, but yeah, just put in a little bit of time because these guys can make great setups, and I got to learn how to set these cars up correctly so that they can go quick.
Well, right. So the setups are important, but they're only important half the time now, because obviously race 2 is all default setup. So what do you feel was better for you? Were you quicker during the race 1, or were you quicker during race 2, or what suits you better?
Race 2 definitely suits me better because I've been sim racing for a long time. So when everything is equal, that's when my ability can kind of show a little bit more on this. So I liked race 2 better, but I'm also very biased.
I think we lost you there just for a second. You still there?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well,
where'd you lose me at?
I think the very end of your sentence.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm biased because I liked race 2 better. If I could set a car up, I feel like I'd also like race 1.
Well,
Right.
I'm sure. Well, you got a week to figure it out.
Yes, I do.
That's right. Plenty of hours to be sat in the sim during these unprecedented times. Fingers crossed these unprecedented times come to an end very soon, which seems to be the talk of the town. But that's for the big wigs upstairs to decide.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your new hashtag, and good luck practicing. And in round 3.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
All right. And last but not least, we have Dan Zargum. Dino Dan. Thank you, chat. Dan, can you hear us?
I like that, Dino Dan.
Yeah. So everybody's getting new nicknames, new hashtags today. Dino Dan Zargum. So you had some pretty good racing tonight as well. So talk us through how that went for you.
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun. The first race, of course, it was my choice of setup. It got pretty dicey. Everyone was like wrecking each other, trying to get around each other. I got tapped a couple times, so it was a little dicey the entire time. But ended up top 10, I believe, 9th place. So I'll take it for points. Did pretty good, and getting into the second race, now that was tough. So I started 3rd, and I got the whole shot. I got it. I beat everyone from the line. And from the rearview mirror, I saw people like at least 5 wide battling each other, and I know I had this in the bag. This is my race. Until I hit the first corner, and I went, oh, this is not my setup. This is the default setup. And that's where it went downhill.
Well, you look good on most of the racing. There was a few fantastic battles that you had during that second race, even if it wasn't your setup.
It was much tighter. I will say that. So definitely some good battles I was some dealing with, and but it was fun overall. And I believe I got 6th place. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Nice haul of points that you can throw in the bank.
So talk to us about what happened in the corkscrew. So we just happened to be on board with the car behind you towards the end of race 2, and you entered the corkscrew, and all of a sudden you exited stage left. What happened there?
I'm still trying to figure out if I got hit from the rear or the back end just stepped out. But it felt like I got hit. So I guess we'll have to find out in the replay.
From our perspective, it didn't look like there was contact, but you never really know with netcode. There could have been like a little bit of a lag spike, and from our perspective, maybe it didn't look like it, but from the server's perspective, maybe there was. So sometimes it could be hard to tell.
Yeah, that was definitely not intentional. So it just hooked left. I don't want to go left, but that's where it went.
Yep. So the next race, we're heading to Indianapolis GP. Have you ever driven that track before?
I have, in a different platform, so hopefully it's the same layout, and that's going to be tough. That is a hard track. It's really flat. So I'm going to have to learn this car, the setup, and do a lot of practice runs and see how we do. There's a lot of long straightaways too, so this is going to be This is gonna be fun drafting each other, bump drafting. So I can't wait.
Yeah, drafting is definitely going to be a big part of that race, and we'll get to finally see which of these 4 different cars has the most go on the straightaways. So one more thing, apparently we misspoke, and the Dino Dan hashtag chat was trying to give to Dan Milburn. So I think the only solution is that you two have to fight to the death over who gets the nickname.
He can have it. I'll be.
Hashtag not Dino. Hashtag not Dino Dan Zargum.
Yeah, we've got hashtag Dino Dan and hashtag not Dino Dan.
I'll take Dynamite Dan. That sounds good.
Dynamite Dan, there you go.
That's good too.
That's actually better.
Sounds explosive, right?
They can both be Dino Dan, but he's got an I and you've got a Y. All right, Dan. Well, we appreciate you coming in and talking to us. Great racing. It was fun to watch. And we'll definitely be looking out for you in round 3 at Indy. It sounds like you've got a little bit of experience there already, which I think a lot of these drivers won't have.
That sounds good. I can't wait.
All right. Well, Colin, Matt.
I think
Colin
you've
and
Nick.
just been absolutely stomped on by chat, Nick.
That's fine. Come at me, bros. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Sticks and stones
You can't
may
even
break
leave
my
your
bones,
houses.
but words
Neither
will never
can I.
hurt me.
So, what?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
That's right. Yeah.
Be careful,
Bam.
chat. Nick is not afraid to yeet you.
That's right, you'll get yoted.
All right, guys. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Let's get some final thoughts on round 2 at Laguna Seca.
Colin?
Yeah, Colin. What do you think?
I mean, there was definitely some awesome racing. Race 2, definitely a little more dicey than race 1. Seemed like the guys were just, they really were pushing the limits on race 2. And maybe just not quite as familiar with the car. They probably spent a lot more time trying to figure out their setup, so they were really familiar with their setup, and then jumped into a default setup car. Weren't sure how it was driving, but yeah, it was awesome. Touring cars, no matter what series it is, are always awesome to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the same boat. I love touring cars. I'm an open wheeler fanboy myself, but I think the racing that touring cars give, whether it be in real life or whether it be in a sim like this, like what we've just seen.
Guys, I'm watching chat right now. I think the internet's about to light on fire.
Fantastic spectacle. So it's really good to see that we have a touring car championship, obviously be put by putting on from US Touring Car Championship. But these cars are fantastic to watch. All these drivers are great, and we have a fantastic chat putting their words together today. So thank you very much, chat. We appreciate everything you've said and all the input you've had.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before we close, I have an idea. Chat, just for you. We're trying. No promises yet, but we're gonna try to get the hashtag the real Dino Dan in here, and he can do our close for us. We don't have time to do a full interview, but he can do our close. Does that make you happy, chat? Power of the people. All right, I heard a bloop in Discord. Does that mean we have hashtag the real Dino Dan?
Is this
Hashtag Dino Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, that's me.
the real Dino Dan?
All right, Dino Dan.
Going,
We're going
guys.
to do a full interview right now, but
No
we're
problem.
just about to wrap this whole thing up. Right off the top of your head, give us a close for the U.S. Touring, for round 2 of the U.S. Touring Virtual Race Series. Hit us with it.
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say. Just give us a close.
Just close it out, mate. Close it out.
Say goodbye to all of your million fans in chat.
Well, I appreciate the support, being a newcomer to this kind of stuff, but, this is a fantastic series, and I have had a fantastic time racing with these guys, and I can't wait to continue doing it.
All right.
That's
There
all
you
I
go,
gotta say.
There you go, chat. You got hashtag the real Dino Dan. Everybody got what they wanted, and they all live happily ever after. That's it for us. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to US Touring for putting on the event. Thank you to Edge TV for producing this whole thing and letting us ramble on about racing on the internet. We love doing it. It's a ton of fun, and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much. Have a good night.